rise of female leadership in Africa marks a significant shift in the continent's political and cultural landscape. This development is characterized by an increasing number of women assuming prominent roles in government and society, challenging traditional gender norms. Female leaders like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the first elected female head of state in Africa, and Joyce Banda of Malawi have paved the way for others by demonstrating that women can lead with vision, integrity, and commitment to transformative change. Their leadership has inspired a new generation of women who are eager to contribute to their nation's political and social spheres. The significance of this rise is manifold. Firstly, female leaders often prioritize community-based and inclusive policymaking, addressing issues such as education, healthcare, and women's rights more extensively than their male counterparts. This focus strengthens the foundation of human development, contributing to the economic growth and stability of their respective countries. In Rwanda, for example, women hold over 60% of parliamentary seats, implementing reforms that have led to improvements in education and economic conditions. Such representation underscores how female leadership can reshape national priorities towards more equitable development. As another example, the leadership of Sahle-Work Zewde, Ethiopia's first female president, reflects how women in power can also influence cultural perceptions and stereotypes about women's capabilities in leadership roles. Her presidency symbolizes progress and aspirational change, urging the dismantling of long-held patriarchal structures. Supporting opinions highlight that diversity in leadership, including gender diversity, leads to more comprehensive and effective governance. Studies suggest that societies benefit from diverse perspectives, which contribute to more innovative and sustainable solutions to complex problems. However, female leaders in Africa still face significant challenges. Societal resistance to women in power, deeply rooted in cultural and historical biases, remains a hurdle. Moreover, women leaders often encounter pressures and obstacles that their male counterparts do not, such as balancing familial expectations with professional responsibilities. Despite these challenges, the rise of female leadership ties closely to the broader cultural renaissance occurring under these leaders' reigns. As women gain more authority, they not only bring new perspectives into governance, but also influence cultural and social dynamics, encouraging a more inclusive and empowered society. This shift is integral to Africa's transformation, highlighting the potential for sustained progress by fostering environments where both women and men can lead, innovate, and thrive together. The historical context of the cultural renaissance under the reign of Africa's female leaders is both rich and multifaceted, drawing from a deep well of tradition, history, and leadership that spans the African continent. It begins with understanding the pivotal role women have played in their societies long before colonial disruptions. Queens and queen mothers have been powerful figures in governance, spiritual leadership, and cultural patronage. The leadership of figures like Queen Amina of Zazzau and Ya Asantewa of the Ashanti Empire exemplifies women's leadership and influence over cultural and societal directions. The cultural renaissance that many female leaders fostered can be seen as a revival of the arts, education, and traditional practices that had waned under external pressures such as colonialism and globalization. These women recognized the power of culture as a means of restoring national pride and cohesion, emphasizing the preservation and celebration of indigenous languages, art, music, and dance. For instance, Queen Mother Nandi's influence is still remembered for its cultural impact on Zulu traditions, while the regency of Queen Mojaji, the Rain Queen, exemplifies the blend of cultural mystique and environmental stewardship. This renaissance signifies more than a revival of artistic and folkloric traditions. It is intertwined with a concerted effort to reassert independence and identity in post-colonial Africa. Luminaries such as Sirleaf of Botswana and his wife, Queen Consort Ruth Williams lead cultural initiatives that merge modern slavery with traditional customs, emphasizing the dual importance of innovation and tradition. A significant aspect of this cultural revitalization is Renaissance under Africa's female leaders remains deeply connected to themes of resilience and reclaiming one's narrative, aligning with broader movements of empowerment and autonomy across the continent. By understanding this historical context, we appreciate the intricate interplay of female leadership and cultural revival in shaping contemporary African identity, highlighting the role of culture as a formidable tool in navigating modern challenges while honoring the past. This context sets the stage for exploring how female leaders continue to shape Africa's cultural landscape amidst shifting global dynamics. Throughout Africa's rich and diverse history, numerous female leaders have emerged, wielding significant influence and initiating profound cultural renaissances. One such emblematic figure is Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matambo, who reigned during the 17th century in present-day Angola. Nzinga was not only a formidable military strategist known for her deft negotiations with the Portuguese colonizers, but also a cultural icon who championed the preservation and celebration of her people's customs and traditions. Her visionary leadership ensured that her people's cultural identity remained intact amid external pressures, fostering a resilient spirit of nationalism that still resonates today. In a more contemporary setting, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia, the first elected female head of state in Africa, has left an indelible mark. Her presidency, which followed years of civil conflict, was a beacon of hope and transformation. Sirleaf prioritized education and women's rights, empowering a new generation of female leaders and professionals who have redefined Liberian society. Under her leadership, initiatives to preserve and celebrate Liberia's cultural heritage were revitalized, encompassing both indigenous traditions and contemporary artistic expressions. The education reforms she ushered in have not only uplifted literacy rates, but have also instilled a renewed sense of cultural pride among the youth. The impact of these leaders extends far beyond their immediate realms of influence. Their reigns have sown seeds of empowerment that continue to flourish, inspiring cultural revivals that challenge outdated gender norms and celebrate societal diversity. However, their journeys have not been without challenges. Opposition, often rooted in deeply entrenched patriarchal systems, posed significant hurdles. Nzinga's leadership was fraught with treachery and betrayal, yet her resilience turned such adversities into strengthening lessons. Similarly, Sirleaf faced criticism and resistance, particularly in navigating a politically complex post-conflict Liberia. Nonetheless, these leaders have imbued African societies with a renewed cultural consciousness. Today, many African nations continue to experience cultural revivals, with women playing a pivotal role in this transformation. By recognizing these female leaders' contributions, there is a profound acknowledgement of the multiplicity of voices that shape a nation. It bridges diverse cultural expressions with political leadership and gender equality, stirring an ongoing renaissance that respects the past while embracing the future. As Africa continues to evolve politically and culturally, the lasting impact of these female leaders underscores the transformative power of inclusive representation and cultural stewardship. The cultural renaissance that emerged under the reign of Africa's female leaders marked a profound transformation in the realms of art, literature, and music. This cultural revival was instrumental in fostering an environment where creativity and cultural expression could blossom. These female leaders, who ranged from queens to contemporary political figures, played a pivotal role in reshaping cultural landscapes and encouraging the rediscovery and celebration of African heritage, traditions, and identities. The importance of this transformation is profound, as it not only reinvigorated existing cultural expressions, but also provided a platform for new, innovative forms to emerge. In art, there was a shift towards embracing traditional African motifs and themes, while also integrating modern techniques and perspectives. For instance, the work of modern artists like Njideka Akunyili Crosby, who combines traditional and contemporary elements to depict the realities of African life, exemplifies this blend of influences. The Renaissance under female leadership often created this kind of hybrid expression, facilitating dialogues between the past and the genres and revival of traditional music underscored this cultural rebirth. Artists like Angelique Kidjo exemplify this transformation as they merge traditional African rhythms with global sounds, creating music that resonates with diverse audiences while remaining deeply rooted in African traditions. This fusion not only enriches global music, but also reinforces the continuity of cultural heritage. However, there are challenges and alternative viewpoints to consider. Some argue that the modern influences and collaborations could overshadow traditional art forms, risking dilution of cultural authenticity. Nonetheless, this renaissance has interconnected diverse cultural aspects, propelling unique cross-cultural exchanges. It's important to acknowledge these transformations as part of a broader movement towards cultural inclusivity and innovation. In turn, these shifts bolster national